Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's AMA. My name's Tim from Ledger. I am part of the US team. Today's AMA is normally handled by the European team, but they are on holiday today, and so they asked me to do a quick impromptu AMA. That way your guys' questions can still get answered. So without wasting too much time, let's just go ahead and pop right in here and start answering your guys' questions. Looks like there's a bunch already coming in. Sean Goodfellow is asking, step by step, how do I get your NFTs? How do I buy a pass and buy them? Which pass is best? Thank you. It's a great question. Let's go ahead and show you. Switch back over here to this shot. Let's go to Chrome. So we have two main. Let's go to OpenSea. We have two main passes that you can purchase that are available. You got the, it looks like it's already up right here. So there's actually a bunch of NFTs. We can go through all of them if you want, but the ones I'm most familiar with are the Ledger Infinity Pass right here, which just will give you access to mint certain collections. These are currently going for, looks like the floor price is 0.018 ETH, so not too bad. But then we have our other one, which is the Genesis Pass. So we'll go Ledger Genesis Market Pass right here, the Genesis edition. Okay. Looks like, oh, this one's going for about 0.1. So this one is a little bit more, but I believe this one will give you access to more projects and more future collaborations. But I think the Infinity Pass does as well. Let's see. So this is not really the NFT stuff that we do is not really my main area of expertise. However, there are people that I work with that I can get like more direct answers for you on like which pass is best for what situation. It really just depends on what you're trying to do. I believe that with either one of these, you can mint the artwork that you've been seeing that we've been tweeting about. That's coming out for the free mint for pass holders. Any one of these passes works. And so what you want to do is you want to actually purchase this pass from OpenSea, and then that will make you a pass holder. Then you'll be able to go to our Ledger Market, which let me go back here to kind of show you. Oh, I still get to it through. Well, I might not be able to because you can see my Ledger Live. I actually removed all my accounts. That way I can show you guys add account process and whatnot. But let's go to the Ledger Market tab. Yeah, so it wants me to add an account. I kind of thought that would happen. So we can actually just go to Market here. And then you can actually, once you have your NFT in your wallet, or if you have it in your wallet in Ledger Live, you can connect directly through the Discover tab right here and add your account. And then, or from the website, you can connect your wallet right here. But then that'll give you access to all the stuff here on our Ledger Market. So you'll see here's all the collabs, the future collaborations coming, and then here's the current ones. So yeah, you'd be able to claim both of these items right here, the Fly God and the Bomb Effect artwork, which are super cool. Yeah, so that's basically that. I hope I answered your question. Let's go on to the next one. All right. Actually, I didn't go into too much detail, Sean. So basically, to actually physically get the NFT, because I don't want to shortchange you here, you would actually need to purchase ETH to go into more details. So here, let's just go ahead and do this. So basically, what I would want to do is, so we got OpenSea pulled up right here. Let's open up MetaMask. Type in my password. Let's actually take another step back real quick. Let's go here. Let's add our account to Ledger Live. Connect our Nano. Okay. Ethereum. We are going to add an Ethereum account. This isn't part of the process. I just have to add this account back in. Honestly, I should have added this in before I started the AMA, now that I'm thinking about it. But not a big deal. We'll just add the account in real quick. Because part of the process is you're going to have to get some ETH. I don't believe I even have enough ETH on this Nano to purchase Pass, but I can go through all the steps for you to show you. Let's see. We can go ETH-S plus. How I always name my accounts. Okay. So you can see that we have this account here in Ledger Live. It's got 0.067 ETH. We'll go up here to MetaMask. make sure we're on the correct one. It's going to be this one right here with the same amount of ETH. Then we are going to connect our wallet. We'll connect. Okay, so in OpenSea, you go to OpenSea, you go to the connect wallet at the top. You're going to connect through MetaMask. Okay. We'll go ahead and sign that. I got the Fire Web 3 app, which is telling me that I'm just signing this authorization from MetaMask. Go ahead and sign that. Okay. All right, lots of messages. Authorizing the Nano to connect to MetaMask. Okay. Cool. Thank you. So we are connected. So it looks like, yeah, we definitely don't have enough for a market pass, but what you'd want to do is you would want to go basically just add the cart, and then you go up to your cart, and then you can complete your purchase. You can buy it with crypto, with ETH, or you can actually purchase through debit or credit card, whatever you would want to do. So that's how you would do it. And then you just follow the steps there. That's a hopefully more complete answer to your question. Okay. All right. Pierre R. Callie says, I hope I pronounced your name right, says, hi, I just staked my Matic on Stator, but I can't see my staking reward. Can you tell me where to check for it and how long to unstake it, please? Yeah, sure. Let's take a look. Let's go ahead and go to the Discover tab. Oh, let me switch back here. Let's go to the Stator app. Here we go. Stator Polygon. May only be able to get so far with this because I don't actually have any Matic on the ETH network right now, but we'll check this out. All right, so let's see. So I can only do so much in here because I don't actually have any Matic to stake, so I won't be able to actually stake some and look. But in rule of thumb, what you'd want to do is let's go ahead and add a Polygon account real quick. Oh wait, not a Polygon account. We got an ETH account. It doesn't really matter. It's the same wallet address. So what you'd want to do is you can take your wallet address, and then you can look up on the Block Explorer what your rewards are that you're getting. However, I'm sure there is a way to do it in the Stator app, but I don't actually have any Matic right now, so I can't like go in and like actually stake some and take a look. But I'm sure there is a way to do it. I would have to actually play with it a little bit because this is a fairly new application and I haven't actually had a chance to go in and mess with it a whole lot. But when in doubt, you would want to copy your wallet address and then go to let's see, copy it from right here real quick, and then we can go to Etherscan. And then you'd be able to see your ERC20 token transactions, and you'd be able to see your incoming transactions for Stake Matic, I believe. But again, I'd have to really look at that to get you a great answer on that. Oh, cool. Looks like we do have, looks like Brady is going to be modding for us in the chat. Great. Actually, Brady, if you have more information, because I haven't had a chance to really play with the Stake Matic through the Stator app. If you have, maybe you can get a better answer for Pierre, who's asking about staking Matic through Stator. That would be great. So Rick is eagerly awaiting Casper direct integration with the Nano X. Yeah, that is, let's see. So that's definitely not a thing yet, but I do believe it's in the works, but we don't really have much information on that yet. All right. So 007 Bond is asking, is there a way of cashing out of crypto to fiat within Ledger Live Direct? Do you bank instead of sending to an exchange? Okay. Or will that feature be available in the future? Yeah, there is. So we do actually have a couple options. So let me switch back to Ledger Live here real quick. So if you go to Ledger Live, you see that there's the buy sell tab. Let me go ahead and go to it real quick. Buy. Let's see. Let's buy with, let's see. So we have Ramp. Let's compare providers though and see who all we have. Let's say we want to buy Bitcoin. We don't have a Bitcoin account. Let's say we want to buy ETH because we do have an ETH account. Okay. So let's go through this. Let's say I want $100 worth of ETH. Confirm that. And let's see, United States of America. So you pick your country. how you plan to pay for it. And basically all these selections that you pick are going to narrow down any provider that's available for you based on your selections. And as you can see that there is quite a few right here. So I would want to pick one of these guys. And just so you know, to like buy and sell, it may require KYC. So at this point, you're going to be taken to this website. So I chose Coinify here. So let's see what happens when you do buy now. So yeah, so it wants me to log in with my Coinify account. So the key takeaway here is, yes, there are ramps, on and off ramps directly in Ledger Live to do this. However, they're not decentralized and they are not anonymous. So you will have to create an account with these, because any of these services in Ledger Live, they still have to follow the laws of the land. Basically, wherever you live, they have to follow those rules and those laws. Which is why it asks you how you plan to do it, where it sees where you live, and then it gives you providers that are going to work that will potentially work for you. So you still will have to KYC through them, but it is a really convenient way. Like, a lot of people don't like to deal with buying on an exchange, waiting for the exchanges, withdrawal periods or whatever rules they have in place before they can actually withdraw it to their account, which is also a confusing process for a lot of people. So this is a great way if you want to just buy crypto or sell crypto directly to and from your actual secured cold storage accounts in Ledger Live. It's a great option. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got. Joseph is asking, I know I can't change passphrase. If I set up a new one and attach, it will overwrite current passphrase. Does it mean I will lose the funds under that passphrase? How does it work? That's a really good question, Joseph. I love answering passphrase questions. Looks like you have a little bit more. I'm going to continue reading the rest of your questions. And you said, if my 24 recovery phrase is safe, but my passphrase is compromised, will my funds be safe? Another excellent question. And then third, can my passphrase account get hacked if the attacker has my ledger and passphrase / pin? These are all really good questions. I'm just going to start from the top, and then I'm going to work my way down. Okay, so you said you can't change your passphrase. So basically, when you create a passphrase for your accounts, that passphrase will always exist. The limitations here on creating multiple passphrases are all with your Nano. Your Nano has a limitation within the actual device itself where it can only have one set of passphrase accounts stored in memory at a time. And this, honestly, is just to keep things simpler for the user, and to not allow a situation where a user can do harm to themselves by setting up too many passphrase accounts. However, it doesn't by no means limits the user, yourself, anyone from creating multiple passphrase accounts. So what you would want to do is when you create let's say you have your 24 recovery phrase, you have your first set of passphrase accounts is Apple, the word Apple. So, and then you create accounts from that passphrase word in your Nano. If you were to create a new passphrase, then it would overwrite that one in your Nano, but those accounts would still very much exist and would still very much be tied to your recovery phrase. So if you wanted to, let's say your second passphrase word is banana, you can reset up a passphrase from scratch, set up a new PIN, go through the steps to create your passphrase. And if you choose the exact same word, Apple, then you will immediately regain access to those accounts that were initially created. It will create the exact same accounts from that word. And then vice versa, you can then switch and create a new passphrase and put banana back in and access those accounts. And you can do this as many times as you want. You can have as many different passphrase accounts as you want. But keep in mind with passphrases, it's really easy to wreck yourself with a passphrase because unlike a recovery phrase words, they are case sensitive. And you can actually even use special characters, and it can be up to 120 characters in length. So like you can see the potential here. Like you can make a really confusing situation where your passphrase is just as hard to remember as memorizing a set of 24 words. So keep that in mind when you're setting up your passphrases. Let's see. So second question, if my 24 recovery phrase is safe, but my passphrase is compromised, will my funds be safe? Yes, absolutely. So your passphrase word is useless without your 24 word recovery phrase. So let's say you were in a situation where your Nano gets reset, it gets factory reset. you would you would have to enter in your 24 word, the same exact 24 word recovery phrase, then create your passphrase account. And it would restore all your accounts at that point. So the key takeaway here is your passphrase is tied to your 24 word recovery phrase. Think of it as like an extension of your 24 word recovery phrase, where it's a totally different set of accounts for your recovery phrase versus passphrase, but your passphrase is reliant and built off of your recovery phrase. So yeah, so losing just a passphrase. However, now that would give somebody, let's say that you did lose your passphrase, that person now knows your passphrase. So if that person were to then also gain access to your recovery phrase, then they would have access to everything. So it's still not a good idea to allow your passphrase to get compromised. In fact, I would argue that it's just as important to keep your passphrase a secret as it is your recovery phrase, especially if you're storing a large amount of assets in your passphrase accounts. Okay. So then third question. Sorry, I almost forgot you had a third one. Can my passphrase account get hacked if the attacker has my ledger and passphrase / pin? Yeah. So if you so if you have a passphrase set up on your Nano, like, and it already has a pin attached to it, all anybody would need, and it's technically not even a hack, it's just someone has your ledger with your pin and they can unlock it and sign transactions. But if somebody were to, let's see, let me try to, yeah, so basically if somebody were to steal your ledger and knew your pin, they would be able to access your passphrase. Now, if somebody were to, let's say you had a set of passphrase accounts set up on your set up from your recovery phrase, but it wasn't currently set up in your Nano, as then you have the passphrase Apple set up with your 24 recovery phrase, but you never set it up with your current Nano. If somebody knew your passphrase and they had your ledger and your pin and they knew that you did, so they knew you did have a passphrase account and they tried to access it, they would be able to set up a passphrase with your Nano and access those accounts. So these are all things that definitely want to be kept secret and hidden. Let's see. All right. And now you're following up. How can I set up a new passphrase? So to set up a new passphrase, you would basically, here, let me switch and show you. Go to here. Got my Nano right here. This. All right, so we're going to hold both buttons to get to the control center. I'm going to tap for that. We're going to go to security, go to passphrase. Okay. It's a little confusing. It is an advanced feature. This is not something that is really like applicable to most users. However, well, that's not correct. It could be applicable to most users. It's just maybe not necessary for most users. However, we do make it a little bit it mentions that it's an advanced feature, and it definitely encourages you to read up on passphrases and how they work before setting it up. So the first option is to go back and read up on it. Next option is to set up the passphrase. So you would want to set up the passphrase. So you see here, I don't know if you can see this on the screen, you have a couple options. You've got attach to pin and you've got set temporary. So if you attach the pin, that's going to make it permanent in your device. That is going to allow you to generate a new pin for this passphrase that will only unlock the passphrase accounts. And then after that, it will let you create a new passphrase. And then from here, you've got set, if you go down, you've got set temporary. This will allow you to temporarily access passphrase accounts. Like, let's say that you have your passphrase accounts under the word Apple that you've been using, but you never want that inside your device. Just as like an extra layer of security, it's like, basically these accounts exist in my mind only, and I only access them when I actually want to make a transaction. Like, let's say this is your big Bitcoin bag that you keep inside here, inside these, you'd want to set as temporary. And so that would allow you to temporarily access it by creating by inputting Apple to access the passphrase. But then as soon as you break connection and turn off your Nano, it's going to forget that, and it's not going to store that in memory. So you have a couple different options. However, let's say that you've already attached a passphrase to your PIN. You've got your Apple passphrase accounts attached to PIN, and now you want to set up another passphrase account. Well, you would want to go to this option, attach to PIN, and when you select that, you would set up a new PIN and then a new passphrase account, and it would forget your the accounts that you have in there tied to the word Apple, and you'd be able to set up a new one. And then conversely, if you wanted to then access your Apple accounts, then you could choose the option to attach the PIN again, create a new PIN, use the exact same word Apple, and then you can regain access to those accounts. It's a little complex dealing with passphrase accounts, but if understood and managed properly, it could be a very powerful tool to maximize the security of your accounts. So if anyone has any more questions about this stuff, in fact, I'm just going to go ahead and drop this here in the chat because we have good Help Center articles on this, so which will explain it most likely better than I can here to you guys. So, oh, that's a Help Center article, how to set up a passphrase. I don't want that. I want information about what a pass. Here we go. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and drop this here in the chat for you guys. Passphrase information. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, cool. Yeah, Brady totally answered that. Nice. Yep, yep. All right. So yeah. Philip saying that it would be nice if there was a video for the new stake Matic application. I totally agree. In fact, I'm gonna actually write that down because that is a good thing for us to work on. I think that is something that we are like. It is a new feature, and we don't have a lot of support for it right now. So let me, on my list of to-do items, Stator video. Cool. Okay. Looks like I may have it. Yeah, a lot of people want to see that, man. So basically, my issue here with Matic is I do have a little bit of Matic, but it's currently on the Polygon, the mainnet, and you have to stake it from the Ethereum blockchain. So I'm going to have to bridge it over, and that can take some time. So for the next AMA, I'll try to have that set up where I have some Matic, and I can show you guys how to do that. All right. Yeah, this is a really good question. The Soviet School of Chess is asking, does the seed phrase generation integrate entropy into the randomization process? And the answer is yes. It is a truly random process. However, it is pretty complex, and I don't really want to get too into the weeds on it. We actually have some other agents that are a lot more knowledgeable about how the randomness and the entropy works for on our nanos, but that's not really something that I'm personally comfortable getting into. However, yes, I do know that that is a thing. In fact, let me see if I can find. I believe we have some correspondence on that. Dude, I can. All right, yeah, we do. We have this support article that goes over the quality of randomness, which I think is probably what you're looking for. Yeah, so we actually have a couple. So let me see. All right, cool. All right, so I think this is probably going to be the best one. I'll give you a little bit more information. This is the quality of randomness. Definitely worth a read. And then this one's just kind of fun because it shows like how the Ledger device generates a 24-word recovery phrase, and basically like how many different options there are, like how many different possible combinations, and it's crazy. So I'm gonna go throw that one out there too. Okay. What else got? Cover that. M. Dewani Beast is saying, will IOTA, XDC, and VeChain be supported on Ledger Live? Unknown at this point. There is always like a long list. They're definitely on the roadmap. Like all these, as you know, there is an XDC, VeChain, and IOTA Nano app. So the process has already been started with sport. So all three of these coins can actually already be protected with your cold storage device, with your Ledger, just not directly in Ledger Live. And so the main issue with this is that we just have not built in that complete functionality yet to be able for Ledger Live to be able to host these blockchains. It doesn't have the tools it needs to actually like have these in Ledger Live. However, the Nano app allows you to connect to other wallets that will allow you to manage assets. For VeChain, you can connect to the Sync2 wallet. And it's a pretty seamless integration. Like we have a help center for it. I can link that if you want. So if you do want more in-depth information on how to connect to these wallets, let me know. XDC, I'll be upfront with you, it's a little bit trickier because there's actually multiple different wallets that you can connect to with your XDC, and we have a little bit of trouble with XDC because there's different scenarios that users will get themselves into with sending XDC to their Ledger accounts. The big one is sending XDC over the XDC mainnet to an Ethereum wallet address in Ledger Live. Which, if you look at like XDC, and so XDC technically is EVM, but it's a little bit different. Your XDC wallet address will start with XDC, whereas your ETH address will start with 0x. And they are kind of interchangeable, but not to get too technical, they are different. Like you can't just change, like if you have an Ethereum wallet address, you cannot send XDC mainnet to it and just change the 0x to XDC because it was derived with a different derivation path. So depending on what situation you're in, if you send your XDC to your Ethereum wallet address and you just can't find it, you're probably going to have to connect through MetaMask and add the XDC network, which will use the same derivation path. However, if you have XDC on mainnet and you just want to create an XDC wallet address, not from the Ethereum wallet address, you'd want to connect through the MyCrypto wallet. And I think that's probably the best one that I've had the most success with. It seems to be the cleanest integration. And then yeah, you can manage your XDC from MyCrypto wallet. And then IOTA, I'm not 100% on IOTA. Let me take a look at that real quick. Looking Ledger Live. Let's see what Ledger is. Oh, let me switch, show you what I'm doing. Okay. I'm just going to Ledger Live. I'm going to allow secure connection. These links that I'm about to show you, they don't always go to the right Help Center article. There's so many of them. We try to whenever we like add these in, we try to get in here to like make sure it goes to the right one. Yeah, so a lot of times they'll just come to this. I can make a quick note of this real quick to make sure that this gets switched to go to the right video. Okay. Go here. Let's go Ledger. Miota. Okay. All right. Oh, right. The Firefly wallet. Yep. Okay, cool. So yeah, so for IOTA, you definitely want to connect to the Firefly wallet. And here's some steps to do that. Yeah, so for all three of these, there's options. And this is just as secure as connecting your account. There's a lot of concerns about like from a lot of you, specifically from like new users that are like, whoa, no, I bought your Ledger product. I don't want to mess around with all these third-party wallets. I don't want to do that. Like that's the reason I got Ledger, and I totally appreciate that. We totally appreciate that, and that's why we want to have so much integration built into Ledger Live. But it does take time, and there's like honestly there's more blockchains every day. Like the list grows even as we add things in. The list just keeps growing more and more. I just wanted to kind of like touch on like the process of when you do add an account. So basically, when you add an account into Ledger Live, you're never actually sharing your private keys. Ledger Live has nothing to do at all with your recovery phrase. It never sees it, never has access to it. All you're doing is you're going through the process to derive the public wallet address, which happens inside your Nano. Then you share that with Ledger Live. Ledger Live then has access to only the public wallet address, which is why you can still receive assets into your accounts in Ledger Live, without having your Nano plugged in, you can technically generate your receive address. I'll show you here in a minute. I'll show you right now. You go to Ledger Live. I go to my accounts. I go to this ETH account right here. I go to receive. I can click right here on don't have your device and just generate it. Ledger Live has my public wallet address. It's a good idea to verify it. That way you know for a fact that it is correct and there's no like corruption on your computer or anything, which is extremely rare, I will add, but I guess not unheard of. Yeah, so the same exact thing actually happens when you connect your Nano to a third-party wallet like MetaMask, Firefly, My Crypto Wallet, any of the ones that we just talked about and any other ones. As long as they have the step to connect through hardware wallet and you are authorizing them to have your public wallet address, well, then they have that, but they do not have your private keys. So that those steps never share your private keys online. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Oh, I appreciate that, Jay, saying I hate that like for the algo. You guys do best live. Appreciate that. Yeah. We're trying to get out there and just like answer the the questions people have. It's to the best of our ability, anyway. Let's see. M. Dewani Beast, you're asking about Hedera. Hedera is it's a little complex. So it said, would Hedera run on blockchain instead of Hashgraph? So Hedera definitely uses Hashgraph technology to derive their accounts, and it is a little bit different. I haven't actually looked a whole lot into it, but it is the reason that we have so much issues creating accounts in Ledger Live is because it uses a different kind of process to derive accounts, and Ledger Live just isn't really set up for that. So that's it uses Hashgraph. See. RH is asking, can I link my Sui wallet to Ledger? It has option to link Ledger wallet. Let's check that out. I'm not familiar with the Sui wallet. Okay, cool. It's a Chrome extension. Oh, let me show you what I'm doing. Boom. All right. So Sui wallet. Let's see what we got. Like it's a Chrome extension. I'm gonna go ahead and just add that to Chrome. Okay, cool. Got that. I have a lot of Chrome extensions, as you see. Sui wallet. Get started. All right. So I don't even know. Let's create a new wallet. Oh, okay. I will make that a little bit less easy to guess. For my hot wallets, I pretty much never keep any funds in the actual hot wallet account, so I don't really generally care too much. Like right now, I'm going to reveal this. Like I'm not actually going to use this recovery phrase right here. I'm not actually going to put funds in it, which is why I'm comfortable setting this up, like showing you guys. If you do use a hot wallet to store funds, then I definitely don't recommend screenshotting it like this. I'm just doing this in case that it asks me to verify these words. But for my own personal like journey in crypto, I never use hot wallets for anything. I know some other people do. They like to use hot wallets to do mints or whatnot. Like I never do. I don't like to take the chance. I like everything on my cold storage. So so this is never going to get set up. Let's see. It's not even asking me to verify it. Here, accounts. Oh, look at that. Connect Ledger wallet. And 0x, I do assume that this is Ethereum. So we already have the Ethereum app opened. Let's make sure we're not connected to the manager tab. Okay. I'm sorry, the My Ledger tab. Let's connect Ledger hardware wallet and see what happens. Okay, it's detecting it. So far, very similar to other ones. And then the Ledger connection failed. So I'm not really too sure what happened there, but Ledger connection has failed. Let's see. Take out of this. Out of that. Go back to the Sui wallet. Yeah, it looks like there is some connection issues going on right now with the Sui. Let me make sure I'm not connected to no, I'm not. Yeah, but yeah, so you would go here, and it could be not the. Let me look this up real quick. Out there. Okay, yeah, so it's only for the SUI network. I'm not too familiar with that. It looks pretty new. Let's see. Let's open up a new tab. Let's see what we can find on this. Oh, I see. I don't know if this is it. This might not actually be it. So many blockchains, so hard to keep up. If you're still here, if you can let me know in the comments, like specifically what chain the SUI wallet is for, that might actually help me get connected to it a little bit better. But for now, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Yeah, new wallets like that, like it is fun to try to connect to them, but a lot of times there are like UI issues. Like I'm probably honestly not using the right app, would be my guess, based on the automatic failure that says can't connect to Ledger device. Leads me to believe there's probably a different Nano app that it's looking for to connect to, and I probably don't have that open. So if you do know that, drop that in the comments and I'll try again. All right. A lot of questions coming in. Okay. All right. Joseph, yeah, you can do that. And sorry if I skipped anyone's questions, but I see Brady is on it answering questions. So hopefully he got to you. We got a lot of questions coming in, which is not a bad problem to have. Okay, so Joseph, you're saying so I can make a new passphrase, banana, send all my funds from my existing passphrase. Apple, I just want to remove my current passphrase account. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Very easy, much easier than redoing your entire 24-word recovery phrase. Yeah, if you have an issue with your current passphrase accounts, create new. You can create a new set of passphrase accounts, send all your crypto to it, and then that just migrates them over to your new set of passphrase accounts. But always keep that original passphrase somewhere in your memory or written down, just in case you someday remember, like, oh shoot, I had this other account too that I totally forgot to drain, because that happens. All right. Okay, so Colleen is saying help. I have two PC profiles with Ledger. One profile allows me to send crypto, but the other doesn't. I get the error. Check that your hardware wallet is set up with the passphrase associated. Yeah, so this error message, Colleen, will only show up if you're trying to access an account that was made from a different recovery phrase than the one that's currently in the Nano that's connected. Let me show you exactly a situation that would do that. This is actually one of our better. This is one of our better. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to grab it real quick. This is one of our better error messages because there's really only one situation that it could ever possibly happen in. So you see here in Ledger Live, I'm going to go to accounts. See, I've got this ETH account right here. I'm going to go ahead and plug in this other one right here. I think it's set up. All right. All right, cool. So we got this other Nano right here, totally different recovery phrase. And in this one, open up the ETH app. I'm going to try to access this ETH account. I'm going to try to generate the receive address. And boom. So this is probably the error message you're talking about. Please check that your hardware wallet is set up with the recovery phrase or passphrase associated. So there's a couple different reasons this could happen. Let's see. Let me make sure. Yeah, make sure I read that whole thing. So it's either Actually, honestly, one of two scenarios. Either the recovery phrase in your nano has changed in some way. Like, let's say this can happen like if your nano got factory reset during like a firmware update or something, and you had to re-import your phrase back into it, or if you accidentally input your pin incorrectly 3 times, which is also a condition that will reset the nano. And then you'd have to import your recovery phrase back in. If there's any mistake that was made and a single wrong word or more was entered incorrectly, then it would derive a completely different set of accounts, and you would not have access. So my first question, whenever users ask me this, like, hey, I'm getting this error message, one, have you changed your recovery phrase at all in your nano? Has it been changed on purpose, on accident? Either way, doesn't matter. Has the recovery phrase in your nano have you had to import it or mess with it in any way? If no, the next question is, do you have more than one nano? Do you have a second nano? If you have a second nano or a third nano, then my next question is, do they have the exact same recovery phrase? And are you certain they have the exact same recovery phrase? Because those are really the only conditions that can cause that to happen. For your nano, let's say like this one right here, which the account that you saw in my Ledger Live is associated with this one. I can connect this nano to as many different computers and Ledger Lives as I want and import that account into Ledger Live anywhere. I don't know if you've been here this whole time, but you saw I have it imported into MetaMask. I can import it into my Ether wallet. I can import it into my crypto wallet. I can import it anywhere. And anything that can connect with a Ledger, I can import that account. And so having it on different profiles on your computer does not necessarily mean anything. So the meat and potatoes, the root of figuring out what's causing this is just those 2 questions. Has your recovery phrase in your nano been potentially tampered with in any way, meaning has it been reset? Or do you have another nano that could have a different recovery phrase? So that's how you troubleshoot that. And I'd be more than happy to go into more detail if you have further questions. Just let me know. All right. Rick Caruso, where do U.S. citizens buy IOTA though? I'm not sure. If it's not available, then you got to find a place. Where we're really not at liberty to give advice on how to make purchases and stuff. That's really up to the user to do on their own. However, once you do get some IOTA, if you want some help doing stuff with it, that'll be the time to reach out to us. Let's see. John's KTT is asking, hi, I have network error when trying to interact with any smart contract from my ledger through MetaMask. That's interesting. I don't know of any network errors. If you're already connected, like your ledger is already connected to MetaMask, like you've already done the steps where you've imported your account and you see it in MetaMask, like on mine. Here, I'll show you. Let's close some of these. Okay. So if you've already got your Ledger One account imported into MetaMask, and now you're having like network connection errors when trying to connect MetaMask somewhere, well, then the issue is most likely with your network or something to do with your browser or with MetaMask itself. Because at that point, the work of your nano being connected to MetaMask is already done. MetaMask already has your account. So now the issue is that MetaMask is unable to connect. Don't let that deter you from reaching out to us though. We're still more than happy to help you with that. But I would, if I receive that help center ticket for that, the first thing I would ask you is, do you have any, which web browser are you using? Number one. If you're not using Firefox, Chrome, or Brave, I would recommend to use either Firefox, Chrome, or Brave, as they kind of have like the best connectivity through Web3, from my experience anyway. Other users might disagree with that. So second question, if you are on those, one of those, do you have any updates available for those web browsers? If so, update them. Next question, do you have a VPN running? A lot of times, VPNs are great to move your connection around or whatnot, but they can also cause errors. Like you can, if there's an issue with your VPN connection on their network, then that could reflect as a network error on your end, even though it's technically an issue with the VPN. So maybe disable that and try to connect again. So those types of questions that we would ask. However, if you go through those things and like you're still having this weird error, I'd probably ask you for a screenshot of your MetaMask so I can see the exact error that you're getting, and maybe ask you what you're connecting to, and then I would go and try to connect to it. So if you're here and I can get to it, then I will try that. However, if it's happening all over the place, like you mentioned, then it's probably an issue outside of like your actual, like something needs to be updated, browser or whatnot. Different browser needs to be used, or possibly VPN or something like that, or just a poor network connection. We see that too. Bruce is saying, I tried to swap some crypto for other crypto and impossible to validate. It sounds like you're maybe using the swap feature in Ledger Live, but maybe the transaction isn't being sent to your Nano. I'm not 100% sure, but like if that's your issue, but if so, um, it could be an issue with like your ledger like needing to be updated or something, but it could also be an issue with the swap provider. For that, I'd probably want to like advise you to open up a support ticket. That way we can ask you like more specifically like what versions you're on and make sure everything's up to date, make sure everything's good to go. And then if necessary, we can then reach out to that swap provider for you and find out like maybe if there's something on their end going on. Soviet School of Chess is asking, do you recommend adding a 25th word, or you think that the regular 24 words are safe? I mean, a 24 word recovery phrase is very, very, very safe. Let me throw out one scenario for you of, in my mind, why I would want to use a 25th word passphrase. And this may not be applicable for everybody in the world, but it's one possible use case for it. So your 24 word recovery phrase is very safe. No one's going to guess it. No one's going to, no supercomputer is going to like randomly guess that and steal that from you. It's not going to happen. However, it can be taken from you with force, meaning that if someone breaks into your house, if somebody, like by force in some way physically takes your recovery phrase from you, then a 25th word passphrase could be a really, really cool tool to have where you only have to memorize one word and you still need that 24 word recovery phrase to access those accounts. But if you lost those 24 word recovery phrase, if you lost that due to a scenario like I just described, then your account would still be very secure under the passphrase, because that person would not be able to access your passphrase accounts with only your 24 word recovery phrase. So it can give you like an air of plausible deniability where it's like, okay, well, I do keep some stuff on this 24 word recovery phrase. However, my main bags are on this passphrase, set of passphrase accounts that only I know about, that, or maybe me and, a couple other people know about, whatever makes most sense to you. And then you don't even have to write that phrase down. Then that phrase can never be taken from you. If it's a single word, you can memorize a single word. Then also there's other things like, what if you get hit on the head? Well, there's always what ifs in any situation, and I don't think that there is a perfect system, but this does give some users another tool to use to maximize their security in a situation that makes sense to them. So that would be my advice on that. And Dewani Beast, that's a good question. So would there be an option to add accounts on Ledger Live with just a public address instead of connecting Nano? No, that probably won't be an option. I can't really speak to the exact specifics on that, because that would be like a design decision and like a UI decision by like our developer team. However, to keep things, to make sure that users don't have any accounts that aren't also tied to their ledger in Ledger Live, like that probably won't be a thing. And in fact, I don't know of a way to do that, even with like other software wallets. Like you always either have to generate the recovery phrase in the hot wallet to create the wallet, or you have to connect via the Ledger or hardware wallet if you have a different hardware wallet that's supported, to go through those steps. So not likely to be a feature in Ledger Live. But I can't tell the future, so I don't know for certain. As a disclaimer on that. Joseph's asking, is it safe to buy from Ledger Reseller, Crypto Wallets Australia? Are they on the website? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Well, let me make sure actually that Brady didn't already answer that, because Brady is on it with the questions. Thank you, Brady, by the way. Let's see. Yeah, looks like he did. All right, cool. Okay. Looks like we have a couple people saying they're getting network errors. Let me try connecting. Let's try connecting. If you let's see. If one of you guys that is having the network connection errors, yeah, if you tell me what you're connecting to, so I can try to connect to it, so I can try to recreate it here live, that would be amazing. But I'm just gonna connect MetaMask to a couple different things real quick and just see what happens. Okay, so we got MetaMask. Oh, we got the wrong. We probably won't need it, but just in case, I'm gonna plug in this. Not that one. Okay, put that in. Let's go to OpenSea. Is a popular DApp people connect to. Connecting to wallet. So it looks like it was already able to connect to OpenSea. Okay. Oh yeah, I just connected to OpenSea earlier actually. Okay. To Uniswap. It's not really having too much trouble. Let me go to It looks like it's just connecting, no problem. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what that network error is that you guys are running into. Yeah, ideally, I'd want to see a screenshot of it to get a better look at it. Huh. Is it when you are actually initiating a transaction? Are you able to connect? Here, let me go back. So we got that. Go to test. Try to swap into DAI. Okay. Swap that. Confirm swap. Okay. Like, cool. We got some ETH going to DAI. Go ahead and confirm that here. And then it looks like it's, yep. I think everything's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and reject that. I don't want that DAI. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's always gonna happen. Like where, of course, like I can't recreate the error. I'm definitely sure you guys are having this error. But yeah, so on that, since I couldn't recreate it here, unfortunately, try to snap a screenshot of that. Whenever you reach out to us on support on things like this, the more information, the better. So like especially screenshots of the error messages. If the errors ever occur in Ledger Live, then we can like ask you for your logs, which will give us the error message. But if it occurs like in MetaMask or some other wallet, visual is usually the best. So yeah, try to snap a screenshot of that. All right. I got hold down. So many questions coming in. This is awesome. Okay, we still got a little bit of time. All right. Looks like Brady's been working with Colleen quite a bit. See, it looks like you have some follow-up questions. Let's see. Let me scroll back up. Oh, RH. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, for that wallet, I'd have to do some playing around offline to like really take a look at that. Whenever things are new, like it's always a hit or miss on whether I'm going to be able to show you like right here and then. But yeah, I'll take a look at it. In fact, I'll make a note of it. Take a look at that. Cool. Spend a few minutes looking into that later. Just a spice question. Do Ledger employees get a free nano ledgers? Yes, actually, yeah. We got one of each when you get hired, because how are you supposed to help people with their issues with their ledger if you've not used a ledger yourself? So yeah, yeah. In fact, I've got them all. I got them all right here. My my three ledgers that I got when I started with Ledger: my Nano S Plus, my Nano S, and my Nano X. And of course, I have some other ones that I picked up along the way that I also use. Okay. So if our desktop computer or oh wait, Ron Hart, hang on. So I was hoping you all were able to answer my question. I'm missing my ETH account. I cleared cache and deleted account. Was supposed to add it back, but no data. Oh, that's interesting. Shoot. Make sure I didn't miss another one of your questions. Okay, so Ron, feel free to pop in and let me know if I'm missing any information here. But so if you removed your ETH account from Ledger Live and you're going to add it back in and you're not seeing your ETH account, the only reason that would happen is if the recovery phrase inside your Nano has been changed in some way and you're deriving different accounts. Unfortunately, well, it's not the only way. The only other way that that could happen is if there was some sort of an event that led to a loss of funds. So you're going to want to add your ETH account into Ledger Live and then check the transaction history and just make sure that it really truly is an unused account. Um, I don't know, like I can't do this for you. These situations are usually better on like a support ticket. That way we can like get information from you and look into your account details with your public wallet address. But so my question for you is, if you are trying to add your account back in and you're not seeing your data, did your recovery phrase get changed in any way? Are you using a different nano than the one that you initially used? Like for instance, did you have a Nano S, but then you upgraded to the Nano X and import your recovery phrase and now you're not seeing your account? Because if that's the case, a situation like that, then it is very common, because when you enter in your recovery phrase into a new Nano, you are entering in letters and your Nano is narrowing down to the correct word. And there are a lot of words on the BIP 39 word list that look similar to each other. And so while you're importing your recovery phrase in, it's very easy to make a mistake. And your ledger doesn't care. Like a good example is blue and blur. So imagine a scenario where one of your recovery words is the word blur, and you're entering it in. You type in BLU, and then on the screen it defaults to blue, and it says, okay, yeah, it thinks you want to enter blue. There is an error. You can go over and find blur, but you see blue, and you have a brain fart or whatever, and you just double click and you go past that, and you don't even register as it being an issue. Get to the end, your Nano accepts your recovery phrase, because your Nano will accept any valid recovery phrase you give to it, whether it's your correct one or not. It doesn't really care. And then you won't be able to derive your accounts, and you won't be able to access your accounts. They're very tricky situations, very, very tricky. But yeah, let us know and reach out to us at support.ledger.com if you try everything and you cannot find your accounts. We'll do everything we can to help you. We're not going to ask you for your recovery phrase. We won't be able to actually troubleshoot those steps for you, but we can give you a lot of good advice and a lot of tools that you can use to help you do it yourself. Rick's asking if our desktop computer or smartphone dies, are all of our cryptocurrencies safe? Yeah, absolutely. And I've kind of been like showcasing it a little bit throughout this video, but I don't know if I've actually like gone into much detail. Let's go here real quick. Let's exit out of Uniswap. Go to OpenSea, back to Ledger Live. So you see here, I've got this account that I added in from this nano right here. I'm just going to go ahead and you see it's got 0.067 ETH. I'll just go ahead and delete it, remove it from the portfolio. Don't need it. Then I can go here and I can just add it right back in. And you can just keep doing this. Like you can add your accounts to any computer, phone, any version of Ledger Live on any device. The real magic is in your recovery phrase. Your recovery phrase is what derives your accounts, and your accounts themselves live on the block. Oh, I switched that over a little prematurely. Let's let this finish synchronizing so you can see the full process. Your accounts, all of your accounts for all of your nanos, for all of your different cryptocurrencies, they all live on the blockchain. They don't live in Ledger Live. They don't live in your nano. They don't live anywhere except for the blockchain. Ethereum is simply just like any other blockchain. I try to envision a blockchain, a cryptocurrency, as being just an entry in a ledger that says this wallet address owns these coins or tokens. And so the only way to access those accounts is with the private keys, which is your recovery phrase. So really your recovery phrase is the only real thing that your nano stores, which is why you're able to just derive your account address anywhere and just import it into anything you want using your nano. So I like to think of my nano as being the key to my crypto vaults. My crypto vaults being on the blockchain, on completely separate networks, not alive in my computer, not alive on the internet. They are on their own networks that I can access with my key. And if I ever lose my key, well, I can create a new key by importing my recovery phrase into a new nano. Joseph, I think I actually just answered your question inadvertently. So yeah, I hope that that last information helps you out. This is another person saying the network area. Oh, is it a swap from within MetaMask? Is that what you guys are referring to? Like the swap feature from MetaMask? Let me see. So let's see. Right here. So like this swap feature from within MetaMask. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. So it's offline for maintenance. Yeah, so if this is the issue you're running into, it looks like MetaMask is just under maintenance right now. So this is definitely not a Ledger issue. It's not it doesn't really even appear to be a MetaMask issue. They're just simply down for maintenance. Yeah. I would say probably no big deal. Probably I showed you connecting through Uniswap. You can do your swaps there. You don't have to do it through MetaMask. It's kind of like akin to like the swap feature in Ledger Live. Like you can use it and it's great and it's convenient, but you can also connect elsewhere and do your swaps basically wherever you want. Let's see. So Ron Hart is saying, if I had a MetaMask but no ETH on it, was I even connected? And if my ETH was on uninstalled MetaMask, oh, looks like we're just over time. I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna do this question, then one more, and I'll make it my last question. Let's see. So, and if my ETH was on an uninstalled MetaMask, how do I get that original Meta account back? I need help. Okay, yeah. No, that's a good question. So basically, you remember when you first, it depends. Let's see. There's actually kind of a lot to unpack here. A lot of stuff could be happening. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I just opened up my MetaMask here. It's kind of confusing having it open there too. So I'm just gonna open the extension here. So I'm gonna go here. So here's my hot wallet right here. As you see, I have it labeled do not use. I never use a hot wallet. And I got two different Ledger accounts connected. So I'm gonna click on the hot wallet. So let's see. So basically, if you're, let me go to the settings. Here we go. Make sure nobody's looking. Don't look, guys, while I enter in this password. Okay. Hold this. I'm going to reveal to you guys. So this is my hot wallet password recovery phrase. You can see it's a list of 12 words. So my question to you, and I never use that, so there will never be any funds on that. So there's, it's like I'm okay sharing it. The reason I showed you that is your old MetaMask account, your original MetaMask account, whenever I hear those words, I think that it's most likely a hot wallet. So my question to you is, do you have those original 12 words? Do you have them written down somewhere? Do you have a copy of them somewhere? The reason I ask is because if there are funds tied to your old MetaMask account, the only possible way that you'll be able to recover those funds is if you have the recovery phrase that those funds are tied to, whether it's a 12-word recovery phrase that was given to you by MetaMask for the hot wallet, or if it's your 24-word recovery phrase that's stored inside your Nano. If that's the case, you can just connect your hardware wallet to MetaMask doing the connect hardware wallet steps and add your accounts back in. Let me show you that real quick, in case you haven't actually been through these steps. I already have the Nano connected, unlocked, and with the ETH app open. I go here, I go to connect hardware wallet, I select Ledger, continue. We got a Nano S Plus. I'm going to highlight that and hit connect. Let it derive my account addresses. So you can see I've already got this one added in, so it's a gray check mark right there, so it won't let me. But you see I got all these other accounts that I can also add in. So if you go through the step to connect your hardware wallet and these are all zeroed out and you don't recognize any of these wallet addresses, then there's a good chance that those old MetaMask accounts are tied to your old MetaMask account. And the only way to recover those is to get that recovery phrase and import that into MetaMask. There's really no other way. Okay, here we go. Last question. Oh, there's so many coming in. I feel bad only checking one. Only taking one more. Okay. Let's see. If you're still talking about the network error, I just showed that was an issue with MetaMask. That wasn't, it looked like MetaMask was down for maintenance. That's as simple as that. All right, so Rick Caruso. All right, this is a good question. Please explain destination tags for sending some of our cryptocurrency tokens to an exchange for any various reason. Yes, this is a great question. Okay, so your destination tag is so on some blockchains such as XLM, XRP, there's a handful of them, there's a bunch of them, but those are the most common ones people usually use. They have a feature, the destination tag. And so with the destination tag, you can actually, it's a memo field, and you can put whatever you want. You can put a note to the sender. You can, some exchanges utilize the destination tag feature in order to credit funds to users' accounts. However, it's important to understand that the destination tag is not a required feature of the network to send coins. So for instance, on XRP, you can send XRP back and forth to each other to private wallets without even using a destination tag. The destination tag is required by exchanges because of the way exchanges hold their crypto. So basically, they hold their crypto in large accounts, like big, massive accounts. If you ever like track on a block explorer, like if you deposit your crypto onto a block explorer and you check the transaction ID, and you go to it and you look at the destination account that you just sent it to, it's usually like some crazy account with like millions of dollars worth of that crypto in that account. And so they do this. I don't know why they do this. I'm not going to speculate on why they do this because I don't work for an exchange. However, I do know that with the memo tag with XRP, they use that as a way to know which user account to credit funds to. So think about it like someone used a really good analogy, and I'm going to totally steal that. If you're in here, I can't remember who it was, but someone in like the last AMA, I think, said this. So think about it like sending a package to a hotel for a specific guest. So let's say I want to send my buddy at the Hilton a new Nano for his birthday, and he's staying at the Hilton. So I send it to the Hilton. Now, how does the Hilton know which room to bring that package to? I have to give them the room number that my friend is staying in. So that's how I like to think of memo tags, only in the context of an exchange. However, it's important to not think that it is the only thing that it's used for. Like you can actually put in other messages into the memo field when sending transactions back and forth to each other, but that's all it is. And so to follow up on this question, one common issue that users have when withdrawing from an exchange is that the exchange will say memo tag required. And that's not actually true. The memo tag is not required to send to a private wallet address, only to send to an exchange because of how they deal with it on their back end, like in their system. So if that ever does happen, you can kind of put whatever you want. You can put any arbitrary thing in there. I usually just advise customers just put 0 as a placeholder, and your transfer will come through just fine. But also as another additional best practice to throw in there is whenever you're doing something that you haven't done before, like for instance, you're withdrawing XRP from an exchange and it's asking for a memo field, it's saying that's required. However, this dude online on Ledger support just said that it's not required. Make sure you definitely are careful, and I always recommend sending a small test transaction. So like let's say you're withdrawing 100 XRP from the exchange, maybe send half an XRP, like just a little bit, just to make sure everything goes well. And then once you see like, okay, it landed in my account, we're good. Well, XRP isn't even the greatest example for this because it actually requires 20 XRP to fund a new account. So you do have to send a minimum of 20. So let's say that you'll send your 20 XRP to your new account, make sure that goes through, then you can send the rest. And that's kind of how I like to recommend people to handle that situation. Yeah, Ron. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. If you look here, like as long as the recovery phrase is the same, you can add and remove accounts. And the only other thing that could have happened is a potential loss of funds. I don't know, like if your recovery phrase was compromised in any way. I don't know. And it would be impossible for me to really answer that and dig into that here. But if you open up if you already have a support a ticket open with us from support.ledger.com, share the case number here, and I can take a look at it personally, or I can get it to one of my colleagues to take a look at. And if you don't already have one, definitely open up a support case for this because there could be a lot of things happening, and it's never a good idea to jump to any conclusions that things are gone or missing without having someone actually take a look at it because like honestly, in most cases, it's due to something else, like wrong network, wrong this, wrong that. This needs to be updated. Could be a lot of things. So we don't like to jump to conclusions, but definitely reach out to us, and we'll do everything we can to help you with that. All right. So I think that is pretty much all the time that I have for today. Went a little bit over as usual, but try to get all these questions answered. I hope that I was helpful for at least some of you. I do apologize that I am not able to answer all questions that are asked. However, I do have some homework assignments for some things to look into. And yeah, we'll try to get a good video put out for Polygon, for Stator, and how to use that. And we'll talk a little bit more about IOTA and Ledger and the Sui wallet. Those are what I have in my notes. So I'm going to look into those things. All right, everybody. Next AMA is going to be Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today, like I said at the beginning of the video, was just kind of a one-off to cover for the European team while they're on vacation for the day. So yeah, so starting next week, actually this week, we'll still do it. So beginning Wednesday, we'll do resume our normal operations. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. It's been a pleasure, and I hope I was helpful. All right, stay safe out there.